Yeah, and not just that, they didn't ban Monkey King. They first picked Tide. No Monkey King bans.
Hmm.
Why? Because they have the Snapfire pick in the back pocket. They're almost tempting Kitaro to play it. Because at the same time, we've seen Ogre Monkey King do incredibly well in their lanes, but Snap Tide's that one exception where suddenly you get that medallion on Snapfire, you're minus 11 armor, and you die real quick. It's so sick. I love the way that Thunder Predator are drafting right now. Not to take away any of the strengths that Lava have, of course, this Leshrac can't gush enough about how he really has been the staple for a lot of these teams to get those early towers, to play in those timings where Ravage is a very long cooldown. It just feels like Thunder Predator are really doing their homework here and really prepared. This is the first team I've been incredibly happy with their first pick draft. It just feels like Thunder Predator have really orchestrated their matchup down this very specific path. I like the Jug though. Jug does bring it back a little bit for me here. Not only Disruptor doesn't really care too much, or rather, you can't do anything to this Jug if you're the Disruptor, just simply spins away from you, but one of the few safe laners here that has kill potential on the Tide, and pairs incredibly well with both the Io and the Leshrac. So, I mean, I casted Thunder Predator versus Lava before, knew these teams were just going to immediately run at each other, but I can already feel the energy coming in this matchup.
Yeah, and the Juggernaut, a hero that's going to work exceptionally well with the Bloodlust near constantly applied to him. So, as you said, that Jug pick really does feel like it pulls it back a bit. Thunder Predator obviously still in a very strong spot draft-wise, but Lava appear to have taken some major steps towards evening things up a little bit. But with that in mind, we are moving along to the back end of this draft here, final phase of the bans. Thunder Predator trying to focus in on that offlane position. They take the Brewmaster away, and, well, I mean, we saw it picked up multiple times in the previous series. Do they consider a ban on something like the Centaur in this instance?
I feel like it's either Centaur or it could be the Mag. Very likely here. Of course, Mag would be pretty sick.
Oh,
Pairs
wait.
incredibly well with the Jug,
They
but
already
is
banned
it
it.
already banned out? Okay.
Oops.
I was gonna say there's no way they just let Frank have it, but that's also where if there's one thing to be said, both teams are playing really well about the order in which they pick up their cores here. Of course, having both of the mid laners picked up in the first phase, it takes a lot of that pressure off, but that same theme across multiple series, just the entire tournament has been pick up your offlaner, then ban absolutely everything else. And then even though you have this counter pick, which has come in the form of this Juggernaut versus Tide matchup, what does Frank actually want to play here? I think that's where Thunder Predator, if they really are considering things, I like the ban a lot, like the Beastmaster. I think we've seen Beastmaster do so exceptionally well versus Batrider in games where the Bat doesn't get off to that great of a start, who does slow down, in addition to just having this ball of units that would inevitably run down with that healing ward. I think that's a good idea for Thunder Predator to try and kind of get out here, but at the same time, what is Angel going to want to play here? Of course, Gyrocopter is always going to be taken out versus these two teams. They're the two teams that love to play it pretty much above anyone else, but the same time, do you just see Angel picking like the PL here? Do you just see him go for one of those all-any TB heroes where you just wait kind of the game out and then win because of that?
It could really, yeah, take it in either direction. Personally, I would maybe want to see them go for something that doesn't quite have that later window, just sort of looking at the lineup that they have to work with it. And the fact that they're going up against the Jug and the Lesh, who are going to want to push maybe a little bit earlier than you'd be prepared for. But even if they do opt to do that, if they put Angel on something like you said, the PL or the TB, their lineup felt like it could have held the line long enough, but instead they'll go for the Razor, and, well, if you're Lava, once you're into the fight, it feels like it might be difficult for them to just back out. So if that static link is held until the combat actually begins, there is going to be the potential for that Razor to soak up or soak away a lot of damage from those cores.
Yeah, and at the same time, we don't have that same fear of heroes like the Templar Assassin to just get thrown in our face. I think the biggest advantage that Lava usually has is they kind of overwhelm you with a hero coming in from Katara where you're not exactly ready for it or have any time to set up, but Thunder Predator are just bulletproof. And of course, this is the least Angel hero Angel does play. The Razor is definitely not has the kind of same timings and the same play style that a lot of his other heroes do. But at the same time, what does Frank really want to do here? We could still see him get moved over to the last track, but that's the other problem that Lava didn't really get to fix in that second phase. They haven't really decided how they're going to want to deal with this mid lane if Leo is just going to kind of eat it versus the Bat Rider, or we do see a change up.
Mm.
And we do get the Veno. Okay. Classic counter versus the Bat. We will see Wheel Style go in on that West track, and it's a ranged hero versus the Razor, but it's also a hero that, in that same vein as a lot of the other heroes on Lava don't really contest well with, if you start to get pushed back in the lane, you're just going to get glimpsed right back into him. Disruptor Razor is a fantastic setup to play, and not just that, you don't have a really good Lesh, or rather IO partner in this game. You're going to be attached to the Lesh more so than anyone else, and sure, that's going to get you across the line, but especially early on, I feel like this offlane is just going to feel incredibly weak.
Yeah, it does come off a little bit strange there now with the IO not having that conventional partner. Obviously, you can still pair it up with the Jugger or the Leshrac, and you are going to have those benefits, but it feels like Lava had a plan at the start of the draft that maybe was forced to sort of shift a little bit based on what their opponents had put together. So, well, we'll see, but I don't know. Looking at these lineups, I just feel like once we get into those team fights, Thunder Predator just have so much to throw at you in terms of lockdown and damage, really.
Yeah, and not to mention, of course, we've got Tide. We get to see the Tide actually get played out here. A Tide that unfortunately can't make that same easy rotation towards the Roach Pit that we see a lot of lineups, go for, because you do have that Batrider mid and you do have that Razor in the carry. But I also think that Thunder Predator, the fight isn't about Roach. It's about running at our opponents, especially around our really early timings. I mean, we've seen Razor get first item BKB, I think, 4 or 5 times already in this tournament. You just already know how to play the hero. Just run at your opponents, look for those advantages. Man, if Lava could have picked Mag, they would have loved it, but it's where Thunder Predator just way too prepared. This is my favorite first pick draft, I think, out of any tournament, or out of any team so far in the tourney.
Yeah, this is really, I think, the first time where we have not been able to say that the second pick team has that sort of definitive advantage. Felt like it was relatively even there, despite the fact that they were sort of playing in a situation where a lot of teams normally sort of are giving something up there as those smokes. They do technically clip each other, so both sides now know what's up. The question is, do they actually get the engagement? It looks like it. Look at the push forward from Thunder Predator. MJZ just going to have to be offered up as the sacrifice here. The rest of those heroes just try to break away, and you do get out with both Frank and Kim, so you only give up one, but that's a pretty nice first blood play considering Dark Mago's the one to pick it up on the Batrider.
Yeah, and you will take that every single day of the week. Of course, it's not going to be the worst case scenario. It is a little bit more gold in the Batrider's pocket,
I
just getting that
sense a
bottle even
connection
faster, but
between
don't think
us.
Leo Style is necessarily going to feel that same level of pressure. Of course, he's got the stick, he's got unlimited stick charges in his lane, but the problem is really around that level 4 or 5 mark where suddenly a level 1. Oh,
Angel
fight. That's a lot
getting
of
hit
damage.
up there. Oh god, actually got him as well with the stun. Now they're trying for the body blocks. Angel just has to hold his ground. He's got the stick charges, but that's not going to be enough. Try to turn around onto Frank, but Panda had used pretty much everything he had damage-wise to help out, and, well, if you're Lava, okay. You give up first blood to the Batrider, that's obviously not ideal, but you're able to get one into the hands of Leo Style pretty much immediately. And
Yeah.
Angel, yeah, he had to TP to make sure he got to the lane in time.
Yeah, and it's important kills like that that are definitely going to set you behind just that little bit more. Of course, this bottom lane is all going to be about whenever these laners get their level 2s. Of course, every single time we see the level 2 picked up by the Disruptor, it's just immediately run at the opposing laner because you know the advantage that that kinetic field gives to you. It's a surprisingly fantastic level 1 spell, especially with a hero paired up with it like Razor, where you're going to have the link around the same time. So that's probably a kill on either the Veno or the Isle. Of course, the Isle can always make that jump away, but look at how much magic harass onto Frank.
Man,
He's gonna need the Isle because it's
just gets
so much
pushed
damage.
back. Well, that is what Kim is here for, and also just going to take one moment, just in case you weren't with us during the group stage matches, to clarify for this Lava lineup. Kim, formerly known as Moose, apparently changing the name over to Kim, and also, for that Lava side, you've got Kataro here. This is Menos, just an alternate name he's gone by Kataro. Some people know, not everybody, obviously, so clarifying that before we get underway, so no changes to this lineup, just name changes like we kind of saw earlier on today with Alone as well. So, little bit of clarification there as we move forward this early. Meanwhile, What's going on between the towers here? MJC and Matthew fighting over some creeps as they get that pull back. Matthew, though, is taking a pretty substantial amount of damage, so does have to be careful, whereas the Ogre is an Ogre, so he really doesn't have to care. But over on the other side of the map, Frank able to push in, just doing so much with that Gale early on. Panda continues to sort of not have much in the way of defensive capabilities. He does have the kinetic field up now, but the slow from that Gale is so significant. Angel can't really run outside of the field to actually make any use of it.
Yeah, they need to be a little bit more careful here. I think that we could definitely see Thunder Predator get really aggressive on their opponents, but at the same time, if Moose just keeps on doing what he's doing, he's just making it possible. Okay, they go after they know it's already been expended. Yeah, you see him tether. You know you got him dead to rights there. It's a lot of damage that Angel ends up eating, but at the same time, you're going to be happy with it. Is Frank going to seek this, though? No, no way.
Little bit too much for him to try to do there, but well, as you said, once he realized that the IO has sort of put itself into that rough spot using the tether, that is their, excuse me, all-important sort of time to push forward. Frank, though, the second Kim's back in the lane with him, he wants to push forward, but this time around, they do have that separation, so the kinetic field does actually matter, but that's kind of the point for the Disruptor. Panda has to get that out early on, otherwise, if he's late on it, then it doesn't matter. Angel's so slow that he can't get away. But
yeah,
nice pull there off to the side lane. Surprised to see this camp actually not blocked off. So often in this lane we do see that camp taken away, so they're going to be able to pull back the equilibrium a little bit there. Meanwhile, over in the middle lane, Dark Mago, well, he's taking quite a bit of damage here from the Leshrac, and well, Leostyle really is not suffering much in this lane at all. He's just using the wand charges effectively. He's gone for a bit of a split build there in terms of the damage, so the Lightning Storm allows him to just sort of punish the bat every time he tries to push forward.
yeah, and of course, it's not even an ideal situation for the Lesh. This is just the build. Of course, he had that Split Earth level 1. Probably not going to get any more levels in it. Could maybe see the 2-2-2 build, but it's also way more likely for him to just max out that Edict next. But, oh, this is the timing, though. Well,
Leostyle's going to get jumped in on. Dark Mago hits him up, burns him to death. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, never mind. Matthew was getting hit up, but Taro, without the ult, wasn't going to be able to make that play happen, so they can't get that return kill. It's the Leshrac taken down mid. Dark Mago does that pre-lasso, so now he could look to make a maneuver somewhere else. He's hit level 6. He hasn't put a point into it yet, but you got to assume that is going to be the play for him. But at this point, the question is really where would he want to go, or maybe the fight comes to him. If you can get the lasso, if you can get a support to rotate in, then they could try for Leostyle again.
yeah, and Leo, he's been doing such a good job up until that point, but that's the power bat. It's all it takes. You just suddenly have 4 stacks on you. You're like, okay, I've got 4 stacks. I got to back off. And then you see the Firefly committed, and you're like, am I really just dead here? And unfortunately for Leostyle, it's just so. Not even level 6 either. He's going to have to work for it. And at the same time, because of this IO lane down bottom, no stacks over in that large camp that we see pretty much every single time this Leshrac has been played today, at the very least. There's always been someone looking out for him, but it's when you're stuck in these lanes that that drawback and that big counter pick mid that we've already been prepared for in that draft is just going to be felt even more.
Yeah, and now it feels like we're sort of snapping back to expectation, right? The Leshrac was anticipated to maybe be at a bit of a disadvantage in this middle lane. He had still been farming up well, but now, without those stacks to really fall back on, Dark Mago has an opportunity to create some separation, although now he's going to have to be careful. He's getting baited in a little bit by Matthew. He's going to be here with the Cookie Stun to help out. They get the Scatter Blast down. They will find the kill, but now Dark Mago, he's just going to die to this. Oh, he's not. Hold on. Tower shots don't actually connect onto him, and well, the IO was so busy getting pulled over by the tether that he can't actually get the right clicks in to actually find the kill, so the bat gets away. That fight looked very, very weird after the Leshrac goes down, but if you're Thunder Predator, you take it, you get the kill, Dark Mago gets away, and everything sort of comes up positive for them.
Yeah, unfortunately for Moose there, if you break the tether and you end up on the high ground, maybe you're just able to right-click him to death with the DD, but it's another sad instance where you rotate and you even lose your player. And the stacks are starting. You do see Moose putting more of an emphasis on just getting these forward the left track, but Leo rotate on to Angel. I think they got him here.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Panda tries to come in at the end with the glimpse play, but he's just coming into the lane a little bit too late. Dark Mega, however, able to make the punishment mid-workout as he gets MJZ, but yeah, Panda's left alone down bot after his carry gets taken out. Leo Style continues to push forward. They get the kill, and they are going to get some nice damage onto this tier 1 between themselves, the creep wave and the siege creep. They should have this. Yeah. So they're going to be okay with that. You have to sacrifice the Ogre mid. That's a bit unfortunate, but the second Leo Style respawns, he's able to push to another lane, and Lava come out ahead.
Yeah, and it's a really important push-in. Of course, that's what the 5-minute card just kept alive for the longest time ever by that Veno, and to button that play off as well, just another ward trap coming in from Frank. Frank's just really good on that Venomancer. But those are the comeback plays where even though you're losing heroes and Dark Mago is incredibly farmed. Of course, when we talk about Bat Riders, we always talk about having, 9-10 minute boots of travel. He's got them right now coming out on the Crow. He is just absolutely blazing on this hero, and I think that's where we still need to see a little bit more from him. We're probably going to see the immediate BKB as he queues it up right now, but then I think Lava are going to really struggle with him. That's where the damage needs to be coming from Kataro, and Katara's doing a fine job up versus Oscar, but Oscar is also just kind of not caring about this matchup. We're not seeing nearly as many plays made on that Tide Hunter, I think, because it is just Ogre Jug. You don't have as much aggressive potential just because there is that Kraken Shell on both of the Ogre's spells, but it just means that Kataro has never had the opportunity to actually kill Oscar. It's just been a pretty much drawn lane.
Yeah, we talk about the Jug being a nice answer to the Tide Hunter, but that's assuming that you have some means of consistent sort of slower lockdowns so that you can just get in there with the right clicks and the Blade Fury. Without that, Kataro could obviously still make the play. It's just without the guarantee that you can actually keep the damage on there, it's really not worth the risk if he could continue farming instead. So the Jug will go to work here. He is going for the early Maelstrom for himself, so he is going to have that more immediate damage output to work with, but until he actually picks it up, the rest of Lava are sort of operating on their own, and they might need to be a little bit careful here. The two sides are starting to come together. No ults on the two supports, though, for Thunder Predator, so they're not quite as strong teamfight-wise as they would prefer to be, but they do still have the lasso from Dark Mago. They could catch a target out. If they could get the glimpse play to isolate someone, they could make a move, but not going to push that far forward.
Yeah, and that's where Thunder Predator, they need to find lanes for both Pandaboo and Matthew. Otherwise, they will just start to fall behind a little bit. Of course, they're very level XP hungry supports. You need their level 6s. You need them to find these plays, and then heroes like this Venomancer in the bottom lane would pretty much just die if these kisses are available. But another lasso, MGZ, just free.
Quick
You're
and
gonna
easy.
take this every day.
And Leo Style and Kim come in a little bit too late there, so the Bat just continues to make those plays, and yeah, sure, maybe the Ogre's not the most valuable kill in the world, but at 10 minutes, any kill is going to work out for the Bat as he continues progress towards that BKB. And if he really does get this, in any semblance of a strong timing, there's just going to be nothing left for Lava to do. The Bat will be coming at you, and at that point, someone is going to have to be saved. So that is where Kim is going to have to sort of step in. He has it level 6, so the relocate is available for him, but other than that, there isn't really a whole lot of other defensive potential, so Kim's whereabouts will need to be accounted for by Thunder Predator if they want to go in for the fight. If they can get the IO in a position where you can't save anyone, then you are just sort of good to go in a lot of scenarios.
And that's also where, okay, Dark Mago's just literally looking to cut the wave. This is so smart. You want to talk about the cost usually for all these early spells and glimpse.
Glimpse
Okay.
onto MJZ, pulling him back.
Nice.
Okay. Angel picks it up. That's a much-needed kill also for the Razor, who we really hadn't talked about much after his initial ordeal in that safe lane. So a kill like that helps him sort of recover. He's moved into 4th in terms of the net worth. Did have to go for that early Falcon Blade, or chose to. Not really sure he was forced to, but now looking for the BKB afterwards. So we are potentially moving into a timing window where you're going to have BKB on both the Razor and the Bat, as well as a Ravage from the Tide Hunter to back it up, and I feel like at that moment they just push forward for whatever fight they want, and Lava are going to be hard-pressed to match up against that exact team fight strength.
Yeah, there really isn't a perfect answer, and in very similar fashion to the other Venomancer game paired up with the Lesh that we already saw pan out earlier today, where is your front line coming from? Of course, the answer then was that you would have a Medusa come out in front and you would just have her be your front line, but that's where Lava don't really have that same hero. Leo is his front line. That's why he's gone for the Hood of Defiance as opposed to a Yule's Rush, and there you
Oh,
go, he backed up the tower and
Static Storm is there. They get the Cookie Stun in as well. Dark Mago's going to TP his way forward. The Io, he tries to get in for the relocate, but he's actually in the Static Storm, so he wasn't able to get it off. And this fight is getting very rough. Kim will be taken down. Kataro, he tried for the ult, but it bounced between way too many targets. They'll at least take down a couple as Panda and Matthew fell. That's just the two supports, and they might still be in some trouble. Look at Oscar getting into position. He's going to go for the Gush into the Anchor Smash. They will lose MJZ, but Frank, he wants in. Angel's dangerously low. He's going to be able to take him down. And I feel like that one sort of pulls it back a little bit for Lava. They still lose the Leshrac. That is unfortunate, but that final kill onto Angel turns it into a 3-for-3, and they were able to get someone other than the supports on the back end of the fight.
you see the flood of TPs as well. They're just going to come immediately back here. They know there's no Glyph, there's no Ravage. They will just be able to claw back this tier 1 tower. Maybe the deny?
Nice.
Okay. Very well played, but...
And the Cookie to push him out. They bail. So, tower's still dead at the end of the day, so Lava do have a little bit more room to work within this south side jungle, but at least you don't give up any sort of extra gold on that play, but this is always going to be the thing for this Thunder Predator lineup. As you mentioned, the reason Lava could push forward was because so many of those ults got used, and, well, if they don't have those ults available, I'm not really sure how aggressive Thunder Predator can afford to be. You see them just sort of splitting up right now, looking to farm up.
Yeah, they are playing towards that later timing. They've got BKBs queued up on both the Razor and the Bat Rider, maybe a Blink Dagger. Yeah, over on Oscar. That is going to be their unstoppable team fight that Lava can only run away from. I was really surprised that Moose wasn't able to actually get a reload, but he's going now, and maybe Dark may go? He doesn't have mana.
Lightning Storm will slow him down, but he's able to cut directly into the river. The Splitter, though, still hits.
Nice.
And they should have it. Leo Style is just able to clip him on the outer edge of that Splitter, and that is a big one. The Io does get pulled back away, but he didn't actually tether up to Leo Style, so the Lesh is able to push into the west side jungle, and between himself and Frank, they are looking for the kill. Panda does have to be denied by Angel, so he is off the map for a little while. Leo Style was able to steal one of those stacked camps, and you mentioned Thunder Predator are trying to push towards that sort of teamfight BKB timing. They still are, and it is going to be intimidating, but Lava are playing this exactly the way that they need to, knowing their opponents are looking for that timing. They're pushing forward now, pre-BKB, and looking to just sort of put together as much of an advantage as they possibly can before those bigger team fights break out.
Yep, and it's precisely what they need to do, and something that they needed. And Oscar, okay, Kataro, that's a little awkward. Well, there's your Omni.
Cool. Hey, Tide, how you doing? Okay, you're doing great? Okay, bye. See you later. Even if those bounces to the creep wave stayed on the Tide, I'm still not sure that would have been enough damage, but Kataro wanted to give it a try, and well, if nothing else, you can say maybe that was a distraction. The Tide Hunters just sort of backs away, so he can't TP top, which means they can jump in onto a solo Snapfire and get the kill onto Matthew, and now potentially push the tower as well. Edict's coming back up, so Leo Style, there we go. Has to step to the right a little bit just so it's hitting the tower, not the siege creep, but that will get the job done.
Yeah. Oh, glimpse on Frank.
Frank dropping low. There's a relocate from Kim. Can he actually get away? Tethered over to MJZ. He just needs to be able to wait out that timer. I don't think he's going to make it. Yep. Kim will fall. That... I feel like they got their wires crossed there. I think he wanted to pull Leo Style in initially to the fight. The Leshrac sort of gives the negative answer on that one, so he's in the relocate. He just has to go himself, and fortunately ends up just walking directly into the trap.
And now, look at the smoke. They got the best rune for Bat Rider as well. MJZ, you just lasso him just because, yeah.
Just get the kill. Easy play. MJZ taken down. They'll take the tower off the back of it as well, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a world there where if you're looking for maximum efficiency, maybe you risk not going for the lasso and just hope the haste rune's enough, but I don't think Thunder Predator really had confirmed vision on the rest of Lava, so for all they knew, heroes were coming in, maybe there was TPs onto the tier 2, so pop the lasso, make sure that there's no chance for the turnaround, and then back themselves away as Angel, I believe he just finished the BKB. Yep, last piece coming out to him, so they've got the magic immunity up on the Razor, the Bat has his up as well, so they are looking pretty strong here. Did they get that blink on the Tide? Yes, they did. So they really did hit all 3 of those markers we were looking at earlier. We'll see now if they try to make some moves with most of their ults available.
Unfortunately, there is a pretty nifty ward from Lava here scouting out, but Frank, are you just going to get Blink Ravage? Oh, the glimpse again.
Okay. Glimpse him into the Static Storm. Matthew's got the follow-up stun with the Cookie. Panda, he's going to take a little bit of damage here on the back line, but it's not going to be enough to really kill him at this point. So these are the plays that you love to see from Panda. He's got the maxed out glimpse for a reason. They're just looking for that punish, and if they can get it, Lava outside of the IO don't have any means of saving whoever gets caught.
No, and we'll have to see because, okay, top. A lot of damage on the mood, but
yeah,
they need glimpse. It's always about the glimpse in this game because these heroes are just getting forced away from their opponents, but Dark Mega with the haste. He could do some very annoying moves here.
He's got a flame break. And that's going to force the relocate. The Ravage is going to be...
Oh,
oh, jeez. I love that voice line. But yeah, that Ravage... I don't know. If it's deployed maybe a little bit earlier, then you get the lockdown, and then you can get the last bit of damage to kill the IO off, but that timing was very strange, and now Oscar is Ravageless for 2 minutes, so Thunder Predator feel like they might have whiffed a little bit on that opportunity, but at the end of the day, you do still have the Bat and the Lasso, and Panda obviously still exists in the game and has his Static Storm up in 10, so maybe they can't look for a team fight, but they can still certainly punish some of these heroes on the opposing side, look for the pickoffs, but at the same time, you see Kitaro pushing into the pit. They're going to drop down that healing ward, and I don't know if Thunder Predator are even aware this is really happening.
They've got the ward of the Ogre walking in and out, but that DD just ruins it. Just ends way too quickly, and unfortunately now you have your Vanguard here. You've got your incredibly tanky Leshrac who needs to build tanky just on the front line with an Aegis. This is your entrance onto those tier 2 towers, and unfortunately, unless you start split pushing now, and we already see heroes like the Tidehunter going for those plays, you're just going to get glyphed, and then you have got 2 lanes pushing in. They're even looking for kills, it looks like here. They're collapsing a little bit, but Frank is alone again.
Okay, he hits Panda up with the ult, but now Angel wants in. There's going to be the static link, but the reinforcements are arriving. Leo Style, however, has to be careful. Dark Mago's going to hit him up with the lasso, pulling him away from Kim. There's no backup from the IO, and this has gone in such a rough position. Kim is able to get back into position to try and heal Leo up, but it's too late. He's already lost the first life, and now that IO has to be incredibly careful about getting back in. But nobody's really coming to punish him. In fact, Matthew's actually getting caught out on the backside of that fight as his teammates were making their retreat. So, well, that's going to make that feel a little bit better. You take down the 2 supports, but Frank dies, and you do lose the Aegis. But at this point, they are going to just keep on pushing their way forward. Thunder Predator not really able to mount any further resistance.
Well, they just used, I think, a few too many spells. It just feels like that is going to be the big benefit of Lava. Lava are really bound by the relocate timer. That is their longest cooldown. It's the only thing that they need to be even conscious of playing around. Everyone else is just always ready to fight constantly, and it's something that I think Thunder Predator, they need a decisive battle. They need something where all of their heroes are alive, all their spells are up. Nice attempt on the splitter there from Leo Style, but they need something along those lines because they're just not simply getting an opportunity to ever march over onto these towers, and it's not like their heroes are good at it either. MJZ is okay. Relocate.
Yeah, can MJZ last long enough? Wait, Matthew, he got the cookie stun down just as they were relocating in, so okay. They do still have to sacrifice Matthew there, but they just glimpsed the IO out, so Leo Style does not have that backup if they really want to take the fight, but now the Ogre, he's going to buy back. They're looking for the engagement. He's TPing onto that south side outpost. And if you're Thunder Predator, I'm not really sure you can do anything right now. They've lost cohesion. Oscar just has to try and TP away. Is there any way for MJZ to get in position? No. So you're able to pull out. All the cores will survive once again, but we keep talking they're only quote-unquote losing the supports, but without those supports, they are losing a lot of their ability to keep the fight going. Without the glimpse plays, without the static storm, without things like the scatter blast and the cookie to just sort of cause that disruption, the cores themselves are not fully confident just pushing forward for the engagement.
No, and maybe that changes once Angel has his refresher here. It very well could, but oh, bottom again. Okay, goodbye Ogre, but
Is he taken down? Omni onto Oscar, though, is dropping him low, but look at that. They get the Static Storm down into the Ravage, into the Lasso even. They just want Kataro dead. They do take him down. Now, Leo Sal in some trouble. Kim is getting pushed back. He's unable to provide that tether support for another 5 seconds, so Leo has to just try and get away. He's not going to be able to make it out, so instead he'll try for the kill onto Oscar, but the Tide... Well, he's so tanky that it takes Leo Sal everything he had left. Technically, he'll get the kill, but cost him his own life while Dark Mega was just able to run down Kim for the kill. So Thunder Predator sacrificed Tide Hunter for about 3 or 4 kills, and a lot of momentum now starting to swing into their hands as Lava... I feel like they just sort of bit off more than they could chew there. Going in with Kataro on the Omni Slash was kind of just a death sentence for him.
yeah, but also incredibly well played from Panda Boo. Just dropping him off in the Static Storm, no chance for the spin. I mean, there was literally no time to react there. And of course, usually you talk about the inverse of that, where you can't Omni while you're spinning, so you see Jugs get BKB, but it was just the exact opposite case, just really well played. We might even see items like the BKB queued up eventually by Kataro, just so there isn't that threat, because it's a very real and difficult problem that he doesn't have a great answer of dealing with. Of course, got the Scotty queued up, fantastic item versus both ranged heroes and the Tide Hunter, just always being very obnoxious in these fights, but it's not your incredible damage item. Even in that Omni, he was doing a lot towards the split targets, but that's all it is. He doesn't have that big ticket burst item where he suddenly does a million damage in these team fights. He's definitely more of that slower, safer pace. He's relying pretty much entirely on his Leshrac to finish off a lot of these kills, and Frank could get glimpsed here. Yeah.
Glimpse him back, the Static Storm's thrown down. He was able to get off the ult beforehand, though, so he's doing a little bit of damage on that front, but they need help, and they do get it. Kim's able to get in there, they get the relocate down, and now, well, you see Thunder Predator, they're falling back. The damage from that Poison Nova is starting to sort of get to them, but Matthew, he's going to buy back. They have to try and protect Angel. He's taking so much damage here, continuously going to get stunned up. He is able to refresh his own BKB, though, so he will fall back as Dark Mego pushes in. They get the lasso down onto the Veno. They'll take him out. MJZ now getting... Actually, not MJZ. Leo Style getting glimpsed away as Panda tries to TP home, but he's not going to be able to make it out. So they will lose Panda, but Dark Mega was able to pick off both Frank and MJZ there with the damage over time, and now Thunder Predator, not by much in terms of the win, but it is going to be a bit of a win for them, even with Matthew having to commit the buyback.
Yeah, it's really heavy trades, but honestly, it doesn't feel that bad. It feels like right now they're in exactly the position they want to be. I think he got a little bit greedy there on Angel. He didn't have enough mana for both the first Eye of the Storm and the Refresher, so it got pretty tight there when it actually came to using his BKB, but yeah, they got to get out of bottom. They need to be scared. Even though there's no lag, though.
He's got the blink into the flame breaks, though, as he is going to push his way forward. They get onto MJZ, and they'll take that first kill, and now there's the second. Pushing Kataro back. He's got the Blade Fury, though, so don't really know if they can catch up to him. They would need the Glimpse, and the Disruptor is very far back at the moment. So they're still chasing, but I'm not sure if they're going to actually be able to catch up to anyone with this, but you still have to give it a go. And now they will back off. And they back off because, honestly, if you can't find the fight, there's nothing else to do here. Your creep wave is pretty much back to your own Tier 2 tower, so it's not like they would immediately be able to take some sort of uncontested push onto the Tier 1.
No, and it's something their lineup is inherently pretty terrible at. Maybe we'll see the Razor turn around in his build, get an item like the Aghanim Scepter, but that is very far along down the line. This Refresher is just good at killing heroes. That is what Thunder Predator are good at. They're very good at killing heroes, but unfortunately, turning those into buildings is a completely another story, and it's something that really Lava just completely eclipsed them in terms of it. Okay,
Blinks
relocate
in.
though. Looking for it.
Save the day. They need it.
And
oh, that's so painful. Oscar can't get it. But now the Omni Slash. Kataro's getting pulled away. There's the Static Storm thrown underneath them again. And, well, they may not have gotten the first target they wanted, but they will get the second. Kataro dead. Actually, Kim falls as well. So they do get two. But now they're in danger of losing quite a bit on their own side. Angel's been hit up by the root there. He is getting so slowed by Frank. As Frank's able to find the kill, they get Panda in the river as MJZ and Leo are able to make that play happen. And that will very much pull it back for Lava as they're able to sort of even that fight out a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, you are continuously asking for Kim to basically single-handedly pull your core heroes out of death traps, and obviously he was able to do it there, but if Kim is the one getting hit up first in these next couple of fights, I don't really know if Lava can afford to take that. Without that relocate to get the Leshrac out and sort of reloaded, that's just a straight-up loss.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and unfortunately for them, they need to find more of those clean answers. But God, from Oscar, if any of these Ravages are connecting
Yeah.
on the tether in, it's incredibly difficult to time, but the Lesh and the Eye just die so many times in this game already. It's such an unfortunate misplay that keeps on happening, but at the very least, you lose that fight knowing that you used the BKB already on the Razor. The Refresher is coming up now. You still have that incredible team fight power. And if they decide to go here, I think they're pinging out the Observer already. Frank's going to put a Plague Ward up there. They are going to get the D ward, but Thunder Predator are going to get right back on the aggressive. They might want to stamp their feet in the ground a little bit near this Roche pit, knowing that it is going to be about Roche in the next few minutes here, but that's also where, if you look over at Lava, they've got the bot outpost, they've got the tier 2 towers. Thunder Predator don't have nearly as much control over their opponent's side of the map simply because their lineup just can't hit buildings. It feels like that's still a problem that no one has really made an effort to fix on the Thunder Predator side. They're so all in on actually finding these picks, and really nice smoke from Lava. They're going to cut in through the triangle. If they find any of these stragglers, it's going to look so bad for them.
See what they can run into. Thunder Predator, for now, doing a pretty good job of clearing out. Oscar's still sort of hanging out nearby, but would have to basically double back at this point to get caught, but he is still kind of sticking around for quite some time, but I don't think they're really going to be able to catch him. I don't really think they're going to be looking for him at this point either. They see some stacks in that jungle, and they're just going to take it away, get some vision down as well, just to really try to control the map. Stark may go in a bit of trouble. That's going to force out the BKB. He wants to go in the flame break and does manage to get a lasso, pulling MJZ away. Okay. Able to find one kill. Panda, meanwhile, was pushing forward, hoping that he could find some sort of glimpse target, but not going to get it just yet. But now Angel, they're eyeing him up here, but he's got a BKB and the Refresher. This is not going to be an easy kill if they do try for it. You can see that hesitation on the Lava side. Leo does not want to go in.
No, it's unfortunate, however, and Matthew can set up for his team as well. He's got the shard, he's got the blink dagger. If they get too close to the snap, that punish is a very real possibility, and they're ping Kataro. I don't think they can make this play too easily, though, but he's going underneath an observer. Oh, hesitance.
Got off the spin. He should be just fine. Meanwhile, see Leo stop pulling forward. Hold on, the blink. Or not the blink. Wow, the glimpse still going to be there, but the teammates weren't really ready for it as Kim. That's an interesting relocate. And now both sides sort of taking stock of what they've got for a potential fight. Angel, though, he just wants to jump in right now. That's going to force the BKB out from the Lesh. Now do they try to push back in? Oscar's got the Blink Ravage play, so Lava have to back away, but there's a glimpse again. Leo Styles going to get pulled in. Static Storm thrown under his feet. They need the damage for this kill, though. Oscar, meanwhile, actually cuts off the reinforcements with the Ravage hitting onto 4. Lava are in a very rough spot here. Leo Styles been taken away. Kataro's having his damage just sapped out by that Static Link. He was able to get the Omni Slash off, though, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Yeah, he's dead the second he hits the ground. Frank has to TP away, but the Dual Scepter is there to cancel it. Frank will fall as well. I think this DOT is going to kill the Disruptor. Yeah, they will at least get that, but that is a team fight loss. They do not have the BKB on the Leshrac. They knew that the relocate had already been used by the IO, so the stars aligned. Thunder Predator just saw their moment and they pushed in for it.
Yeah, and they did such a good job of forcing out almost a knee-jerk reaction from Lava. I mean, you got the glimpse onto the Jug, sure, you feel like you need to relocate him if there is that threat of the Static Storm on him, but then it doesn't come. And then the Leshrac walks up to the hill, feels like he needs to BKB, zones everyone back, and then Thunder Predator don't jump. I felt like they forced out the most important aspects of Lava's lineup and then kind of just deconstructed what they wanted to do. They forced out so many of the little spell immunities, the little saves before Lava were really ready to fight, and then the Glimpse is the perfect tool to then get them into this just awful position. And at the very least, Oscar found his Ravage, man. He got his 4 or 5 man. He got everybody on that choke point, and Lava even get baited into saving their teammate there, which was already pretty much declared to be Thunder Predator controlled. Just them having this war this entire time was really, I think, Lava's biggest mistake. Thunder Predator, though, they can't do Roche, so they don't get it, even though they have such an amazing team fight, and that's where they need to do something about this. But at the same time, without Ravage, think they might just let this go.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a
Maybe.
lasso, they've got a static storm, they've got the Mortimer kisses, so maybe you could sort of scrape together something strong enough to push Lava away, but you see them not taking the bait, but there's going to be the lasso. They've cut up the Leshrac trying to pull him into the fight. The static storm is going to be deployed. Kim tries to get in, but he actually tethered into the silence, so he's not going to be able to save his buddy. Leo Style gets taken down. Oscar, meanwhile, was the one to grab the Aegis. They get the stun on Kataro with that cookie, and it's all falling apart for Lava. 3 dead. Kim is getting the hell out of dodge with the TP. And Oscar, yeah, tip that, man. He gets in there with the blink. He takes that away. He actually got that shard as well, so... well, Lava, unfortunately, just sort of lob one up for their opponents, and Thunder Predator follow up that first incredible teamfight win now with a just back-breaking play, because Lava needed that Aegis.
Yeah, and yet again, it feels like we need BKB on Jug. These silences are just way too annoying. And Frank, okay, he's just
Poison
dead.
Nova is going to be damaged, but it's not going to do much to change the outcome there, as he will get picked off, and... now you stagger the respawns pretty significantly. 80 seconds for the Venomancer. So Thunder Predator, they were going to have to push out a lane no matter what they wanted to do, but now they've got so much time to do so. As Angel, he was already on it. He took the tier 2 in the top lane. He's going to push up to the tier 3. And he does have teammates coming over to try and help him out here, of course. Well, the same issue they have with Roshan is an issue they have with buildings. They really just don't hit objectives all that significantly, and 33 minutes in feels like it's maybe a little bit too late for the Tide to be looking to some sort of Meteor Hammer play, but at least they can try and take a little bit more control of the map. Vision's getting thrown down, they take the outpost in the north side jungle, so Lava are getting a taste of their own medicine here as they are getting pushed back rather significantly.
Yeah, and it just feels so hard now. You had to wait for your opponents to get basically all of their abilities back. I mean, that was their Roche. I was really surprised that Frank just didn't have more Plague Wards down around the area. It's the reason you picked this Veno, is trying to make it as difficult as possible for Dark Mega to find his man. Now Dark Mega's looking for 2 with the Agnib Scepter, and if he finds that lasso, it's just crushing with the IO as well. We've already seen how many times he just gets that pull into the Stag Storm, and again, I'm looking over at Kataro. If Kataro isn't starting these fights off with kind of an early spin or with an item like the Blink Dagger or BKB, it feels almost impossible for him to actually find the targets he wants to kill in these fights. He's looking for Silver Edge so he can try and get a kill onto Oscar, but then almost situationally, Oscar's not really the target for the next 2 minutes here. You can't afford to spend any spells on him, and I think now they're finally getting a lot of these tier 2 towers, and the gold lead is just becoming a mountain for them to deal with. There's a full AC also finished up on Angel. All the items are just kind of coming in one after another for Thunder Predator.
Definitely experiencing a power spike now, and I just love, as you mentioned, the Aghanim Scepter play from the back, because it just changes the nature of how Thunder Predator approach these fights. Instead of looking for a target and then trying to keep the IO away, you're almost... well, okay, never mind. They are going to jump onto MJZ first. I was going to say you're almost looking for the hero that the IO is tethered to so that you can get that double play, but that works out just fine as well. You take MJZ down. If he wants back in, he's going to have to buy back, and Lava are not in a position to defend this. They do not have half their lineup in. They just use their glyphs, so now that is no longer available for any sort of defense, and Dark Mega, look at him on the prowl, throwing out those flame breaks, just looking to see what he can find as he's fishing for some sort of initiation. And you have to be so careful of Oscar right now. He does have that Ravage. They're going to try to jump in onto Angel, but the BKB is going to be activated. He'll get the static link down, so Kataro has to fall back immediately. But at least that's enough to push Thunder Predator away. MJZ, though, did use his buyback, so he would like to get something for this play, but I'm not really sure how much they can find. They do get the Fire Blast down onto Oscar, but that is not the target that they want right now. Even if you kill him once, he's coming back up, so... well, he's coming back up, and he's doing so with the Ravage. Panda's out, though, so they don't have any sort of Static Storm play, but they may not need it. There's going to be the lasso into the Ravage. They take down Kim. Leo Style dropping low as well. Can they finish him off here? Angel needs to be able to close the gap. He's not able to do so. Now he's got to pop the BKB so that the Omni doesn't kill him. And that actually may not be enough. He's still just taking way too much damage. He has to turn and fight. It's not a fight that he'll win. Angel gets taken down. Oscar now falling as well. And I believe Dark Mago, yeah, he should be able to just get out. He's got the blink, but... is he really? Okay, that feels a bit greedy, but he's got the DOT. And I don't think Frank can do enough to punish him here. Although he does have the root. Rod of Atos could come into play, and... okay. That's not really worth it. Poor Dark Mago, he gives up... oh god, he gave up Godlike Streak. That's... I was going to say awkward, but he actually gave it to Kim. So the IO gets most of the gold on that play, but that's still a weird one for the Thunder Predator side. It feels like, oh, you sort of lost those heroes. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but Dark Mago had his ticket out. He could have just backed away. Instead, he goes in for the kill onto the Ogre, and while he gets it, he does end up paying for it.
Yeah, and really, the one aspect, because that was going to be incredibly good for them, was they didn't have the Static Storm. They lost Pandaboo. He just wasn't able to walk out with the rest of his team nearly as quickly, and unfortunately, that's your one team fight you can't lose.
Big glimpse Kitaro. Dark Mago, he needs the lasso, though. They need to be able to lock this one down. They are going to try and go in with the lasso into the Mortar of Kisses. They got Kim in there as well. Kitaro, he's still not dead, though. There we go. Tower shot will connect, so they do get the kill. And now, this is a big opening because Kim, he already used his buyback in the last fight. He is not coming back. But they need to be able to catch up. Leo Style's going to look for the TP out. Any way to get him? Yes, because the glimpse comes in as the BKB wears off. And that Leshrac, he's just trapped now. He's going to try and fight up as best as he can, obviously, with the Pulse Nova, but the mana runs out. And Dark Mago will get the kill, so the buyback from the Bat Rider very much paying for itself, and that's going to reset things, put Thunder Predator back in control.
Yeah, and Angel, you look over at him, he's 3 components away from that Ags, but that is going to be their opportunity to actually take these buildings. Not to mention, he's going to have that Eye of the Storm target. He's almost 25. This is their big moment here. I think they're just going to push in with the carts as well. They could probably finish off that bottom racks. They might just look for their entrance. At the same time, do not give Dark Mago a lasso right now. He might just take MJZ if they give it to him for free, but... Oh, okay. Same time, you're zoned off your tier 3 tower. There's nothing you can do, but
he got it anyway. Blinked in, gets the Veno, pulls him back. Frank has no defense here. Okay, he's going to buy back, but at this point, it feels like Thunder Predator have already gotten what they wanted. They're going to be able to push onto the tier 3 without any resistance, and what can Lava do? The Poison Nova is available from, oh god, from Frank, but look at that. Oscar's going to get thrown in by the Spit Out. He gets the Ravage down. If they kill Frank again, well, they're not going to be able to do so. He gets off that Nova, but now that ult is down. Thunder Predator gonna basically just leave Matthew to die. That's an interesting one. Just kind of doubles back to make sure that he's the only death. He's actually not going to be the only death, though, as Panda gets caught out as well. But in that instance, you're happy giving up the supports, I think.
Are they just going to run immediately to the enemy team's high ground?
I think they might.
This game is just crazy. Roche is not responding for a while, but Oscar just unprovokedly pops a refresher orb in the trees here. I wonder if he's going to hide it, but they don't know he has Ravage now. This could be the moment where Lava, they march up to the high ground, they lose Leo Style, who just bought back. It's a really nice forcing play. I think that Spit looks crazy, but you force the buyback from the Leshrac when he had 18 seconds on his respawn timer, and they don't know about this.
Oh boy.
I mean, they need the buy from Disruptor most likely here, but this could be the end of the game. Oh,
Lotus overflex the lasso, but there's going to be that Ravage coming in, connecting onto 5. Taro, though, able to get the spin off, but Panda's in there with the Static Storm. It's just not doing enough damage right now. They're not able to find anyone. Angel is trying to get off that Static Link. It is sucking a lot of the damage away, but not enough. Angel dropping low. They need to be able to protect him. He does have a buyback, but they'd rather keep him alive for this first fight. They're turning onto Kitaro. Kitaro going to get healed up by Kim. Is it enough for now? For now, yes it is. Kitaro will survive. Angel goes down, buys back immediately, and tries to push back into the engagement. Lava, do they want this? It's going to get rough for them, but they know there's no lasso. The Static Storm's already been used, and if they can kill Angel a second time, he does not have the buyback any longer, but there's still a lot of damage coming out onto them. They're going to group up here, try to just get some semblance of cohesion with their full 5-man, and they do take that entire middle lane in just a second, as Kim apparently needs a moment. So it looked like it was almost a desperation play from Lava, but it works out so spectacularly that they are starting to sort of wipe away this lead. They've already cut off 5k from the deficit, and they could try for more here with 45 seconds for the tide, and it looks like they are going to go for it, making their way down bot.
Yeah, and there's nothing they can do. There's no Ravage. There is Lasso, but unless you're getting him in the fountain, you just don't have enough damage without those Eyes of the Storm, and no refresher for 34. Lava just broke the base. They just broke everything, and okay,
they're still going to try it. They get the Lasso down. They get the Static Storm out as well, so Leo Style's in trouble. No, he's not. Kim pulls him out. They do lose MJZ, but that's the only casualty so far, and now look at Kitaro spinning his way forward. He does have the increased move speed from the Shard, but Angel has the BKB, so he is going to be able to pull himself back safely. But now Kim, They tried for that relocate, or not the relocate, the glimpse rather, but they're actually going to spit Angel forward, and I do believe the Isle will be taken down there. So they find that kill, but they need more. They can't cancel the TP, though. As Frank and Leo Style both get themselves away, Lincoln Sphere coming in handy as the Leshrac was able to use that to prevent his TP from being canceled, and Lava, that was excellent. They get 2 full lanes of racks, they cut the deficit in half effectively, and they do lose a couple of heroes on the back end, but you look at the buyback statuses from Thunder Predator as well, and they don't really have any. 4 of them are on cooldown, and Oscar doesn't have the money.
Yeah, and that's where the game could just be won. If they find the Lesh one more time, I really feel like Lava's game plan kind of falls apart then and there, and they are giving this Roche over on towards the Thunder Predator side. This is going to be your, what could be a triple Ravage or a triple Eye of the Storm. We'll have to see how they decide to value it. Could be double Lasso as well. 4 Lasso target would also be pretty funny to see, but there's no defense. They know that without this IO, they don't have their get out jail free card, which it really has started to be. The relocate just keeps on getting these heroes out of these absolutely awful positions. And more importantly, they're using their BKBs whenever they could possibly get glimpsed just flat out into death. I think Lava really shorted that problem where they just kept on getting caught without a lot of what had been keeping them alive, and they will swap it up. So Dark Mago, he's got double lasso. It's another thing to catch their opponents off guard here. And they're smoked out of the base. So gotta be so careful.
What play were they really hoping for here? If they could find a quick pickoff, that would be fantastic, but you have to be so careful about pushing into the straight fight with all of these sort of goodies that Thunder Predator have at their disposal. It makes the lack of buybacks now hurt them so much less. But, well, neither side really looking to immediately push in, which makes sense considering basically nobody has buyback up right now. The Jug, I think, is the only one who has it at the current point in time. So both sides would like to maybe wait this out, pull back a little bit, secure a bit more farm, maybe 1 or 2 more items. But if you're Thunder Predator, you might want to start looking a little bit earlier, considering that Aegis is on a bit of a timer. 4 minutes obviously is a long time, but where do they look to go? And actually, do they maybe wait? Because Angel is only about 100 gold away from finishing off the Ags here. So yeah, maybe you delay whatever push out until he does have that, as the courier is going to pick it up. And now, I mean, this is going to be kind of nasty, although, oh, hold on. He actually didn't take the Eye of the Storm talent at 25. He opted for the attack speed instead. That's...
Yeah. It's probably just because in that one instance where I think they were very reasonably saying that we could lose the game here, I need to actually be able to right-click this Juggernaut, and even though his build isn't really geared towards it, Razor does hit pretty hard if he gets those links off, especially if he gets the double link off. Unfortunately, Angel's been kind of having to split a lot of his BKB just because of how long these fights have been. So we're not seeing that double link, double Eye of the Storm, just immediately kill someone with your 900 damage stolen. But at the same time, 80 attack speed is nothing to scoff at. That's a really nice talent. You're able to actually do so much, especially if you are able to transition your build just a little bit further along. Not to mention, he's got a leveler. He's got something to look forward to in the push, but as this game resets, though, you can only imagine that it's going to favor Lava just a little bit more here with the amount of defensive items that they've been able to pick up in the current time. Not to mention that Kataro is also looking at a nullifier, and I've got a bugged-looking Jug over here, but he is terrifying looking on my screen. He's got a I don't think he has his mask on. It looks really strange for me, but yeah, not too pretty. But at the same time, I think Kataro, he's saving his buyback. He knows that he's the only one who's actually had buyback for the past few minutes here. And if he dies, the game is looking really grim. At the same time, though, man, Thunder Predator just can't push. They're really just going to wait this one out. We're going to see almost a full reset in 2 minutes here.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for them this late in the game to really just sort of lack that ability to push forward. Some of that does come from the fact that they're going up against super creeps, both mid and bot, but that really isn't the only explanation. This lineup is still a little bit weak in terms of actually pushing things out, but slowly but surely, they're making their way across. They still have about a minute and a half on that Aegis to try and make some sort of play, and we'll see where it is they actually look to go. They're making their way bot. Angel's just going to call his own number and go in for it. Eye of the Storm is activated, at least the first one. That should be enough to get the ranged racks, though. He is actually switching targets now. There we go. Going to be able to take the range down and see Lava. They don't want to go all in on this Razor. He Actually just activated the BKB, okay. You would rather preserve the BKB and try to, or excuse me, not preserve the BKB, use it and preserve the Aegis. As Dark Mago, he wanted in, the BKB was activated himself, but his blink was canceled, so he couldn't actually close the gap, and now Thunder Predator, they just have to back away. There's nothing left for them to do here.
Yeah, and if they saw him top and they do see him top, the Lava are going to be looking for kills now. They're going to slink out of the base, and it's a battle. And look at Lava's ward. They've got the vision. Gotta be so careful.
Relocates there if they could catch Angel. Oscar, though, blinks in. Ravage down. Static Storm's going to be there as well. Into the Mortimer Kisses. They take down Kim right away. Now the lasso reflected by the Lotus, so they're not going to be able to get the pullback. Kim, though, buying back immediately. Oscar refreshing, going in for a second Ravage. He's going to deploy it now, connecting onto everyone other than Kataro, but Kataro is actually the one dishing out the damage. They'll take down Matthew. They got through the Aegis, so Angel back up on that second life. The Omnislash, though, is going to tear through him as Leo Style picks up the double. And that is Angel dead with no buyback. 50 seconds on the cooldown, so Lava may have their moment. They're going to try to push forward, and Thunder Predator, you see them all. Maybe not all. Oscar's not quite back, but most of them are going to TP back and try to mount a defense, but well, what do they have to defend with? They used both Ravages. Dark Mago, honestly, might just pass the refresher chart over to Oscar, maybe, but they are in a very tough position right now, holding on to the only lane of racks they have remaining. There's at least a tier 2 here to act as a bit of a buffer, so that is going to help get those death timers a little bit lower, but, well, in the case of the Razor, I'm not sure you're looking for the actual respawn. I think you're looking for him to just get his buyback up in 10 seconds and then try to get him back in that way.
Well, and we'll see. I think, yeah, refresher shard did get moved over to Oscar, and that's another thing that Lava might not be aware of, and he's going to use it, so they want the jump here, but this is really ugly, and the Lotus Orbs have just been so crucial for Lava, and here we go.
There it is. They get it. The Static Storm's there as well. They managed to get the lasso down, so Kataro's already dead. Leo Style's now in trouble as well. Kim, does he have the relocate? He needs to be able to pull his teammate away, but the Yule Scepter's going to be there to cancel it. No reload save, but Leo Style, he doesn't really need saving right now. Look at the damage he's dishing out, but eventually it looks like they are starting to break through him. Oscar did die, but he's immediately going to buy back, and Angel wants to push forward. They get Kim with the relocate. Not the relocate, wow, excuse me, the glimpse pulling him back into the fight, and Angel's able to clean up. He got so much damage from the ults. And now, if you're Thunder Predator, how far are you willing to push this? There's a couple of buybacks on the Lava side, but you used a lot of what you have there. You used both of the Eyes of the Storm. You don't have any more Ravages, although Refresher Orb's up in about 15 seconds, so they would have one to work with. And actually, they got the Static Storm coming up relatively soon as well, so maybe there is a window for them to try to push in here. Catch Lava with really only about half of their lineup available.
Yeah, and Lava, they've got to be scared right now. You got to be so careful. You don't want to give away any of these kills, and little Frank.
He's going to get stunned up by the cookie. Locking him down, they'll find the kill. He'll buy back immediately.
Well, they don't want to use everything, though. They want to save at least one, but they might just start losing everything.
There you go. That's a very aggressive blink. He was looking for the lasso. Even without the lasso, though, Frank now has to stay in the fountain. So his buyback really isn't doing a whole lot here. The glyph is actually doing a little bit more defensively. But once it wears off, they will continue to push forward. Dark Mago, he actually still did get the lasso down. They'll pull the Venomancer out. If they can take him down here, there is no way back in for that Veno. But Leo Styles here trying to fight as well. Popping the BKB. It's not enough to save his teammate. Maybe he can find some sort of kill, but Dark Mago TP's away. Oscar will be taken down, though. But I think that's really all Leo Styles going to be able to get. There's a TP out from Panda, and they do manage to get themselves out of there. But Oscar being dead for about 2 minutes is not ideal, but Lava, they can't push with this. With just Leo Style and Kataro, that's really just not enough for them to do anything.
Yeah, I think right now Kataro's just looking for a cheeky kill. If he could find it onto Dark Mago, that would be insane. That would probably be game-winning for him right now, even though Dark Mago is the only one in this game with buyback presently. But at the same time, the game is really going to reset, which is hard to say because this Roche is respawning, and will it respawn now? No. Wait timer does favor Thunder Predator just a little bit more here because Lava would have absolutely loved to have some of those goodies. Of course, it's the 4th Roche. It's absolutely everything. But at the same time, what do we do now? Lava, they have every right to push in towards that top tower. There is still glyph available to Thunder Predator, but they've got to be terrified of just getting lassoed back and losing their lives. At the same time, though, they've got cards here. They've got Wesh. They could just, at the very least, get glyph in probably a relatively safe fashion, but they might not even try. They might say, we want to take control. We know that Roche is coming back up in a minute. We want to stay in this triangle area for the time being. and not give our opponents any gap, any time to actually make these winning plays onto us. Because if we lose the Lesher the Benno again, game is probably going to be over if the Razor's alive during that timing.
Mm-hmm. It is certainly the more boring play, but it's probably the smarter one for Lava given their current position. So they are just going to sort of wait it out, get their full strength, see what they can do there. But over on the other side of things, what are we starting to pick up here? Level 2 bots for the Bat Rider. Angel was able to get himself a Heart of Tarask a little while back and is working his way, yeah, towards the Silver Edge as that next big pickup. So we are starting to build up that strength, and it's also worth noting at this point, we're 8 minutes out from that 60-minute mark, and the next sort of tier of neutrals potentially coming into play for the two sides. So I don't really think either team would want to wait that long right now, but we may not have much of a choice. Lava, though, that is a full 5-man smoke, 4-man smoke on the opposing side, and we should see these two teams get so close to each other. Dark Mago, he's going to get stunned up. He didn't pop the BKB in time, but Oscar's in there. Going to drop down the Ravage. Second Ravage coming through. They're going to drop everything that they've got there as Kataro gets taken down. Now they'll pull the other two in with the second lasso. And I think this fight's already over. There's a buyback from the Jug, but Leo Style is fighting entirely alone, desperately trying to make anything happen. It's just not going to work. Leo Style gets taken down, and Kataro,
Hero.
good luck. He's going for the Omni. Decent bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough, and now he's in trouble. He's going to try to Blade Fury his way through this, looking for whatever kills he can get, and he did manage to pick up 2, but he's still dead. So Kataro gets taken down, all 5 dead. No GG called just yet, though, but I can't imagine Kataro just suicides in there if that wasn't the last play.
Yeah, of course, things were looking grim at the start there, but what a blink from Oscar. He just did everything that he got exactly what he wanted at the same time as well. The 25 just Snapfire kisses raining in. Yeah, GG's called.
There it is. Yeah.
Man, that was just well played from Lava. They had the vision there. Look, their ward's still up. They didn't even get dewarded. It's just the vision coming in from Dark Mega going in ahead of the rest of his team. And then even though he gets clipped by MJZ's stun, it just doesn't matter. It just is way too good from his teammates. I mean, that's just beautiful.
That is, as you said, beautiful. It's the perfect execution of that combo, right? You get in, you hit him up with the first Ravage, you get the Static Storm put down underneath it, into the second Ravage, into the lasso, into the second lasso to pull in the 2 heroes that you didn't actually get with the Static Storm. No hero got to escape from that fight. That is the execution that you just dream of with this lineup, and Thunder Predator got it in the exact moment they needed it to close out the game. Just, chef's kiss. It was perfect.
Yeah, and now I don't even know if Lava Best PC want to change up all too much because they had their winning opportunities. They were 2x up basically the entire game. They had such good ideas. It's just the execution, just raw, coming in from, I think, Dark Mago, Pandaboo, and Oscar. They just played phenomenally. Not saying Angel wasn't there or Matthew wasn't there, but those 3, just the pulls, the timings on the Static Storms, the Ravages that Oscar were going for, even the ones early on that weren't hitting. It just felt like every single time they were making those almost crazy plays. But you also can't look at Dark Mago and say he died 2 times. He played almost a flawless game of Dota 2. The one time he did die, it was pretty funny, and he did give 1,000 gold over to the Wisp. But at the same time, Thunder Predator almost have no business winning this game. They've got no tower push. They've got no Roche. They have such a flawed lineup, but at the same time, they execute on such a high level that their opponents still struggle versus them. And we saw when Lava were able to bite into their base, I mean, it's just gone. It just evaporates.
Yeah.
But that's where Thunder Predator really just kind of pulled off a show.
And I mean, that's what they wanted when they go for this lineup, right? At a certain at a certain point, they think we will have so much team fight power that if it all comes together, we're just going to blow through you. We're just going to completely annihilate you. We've seen plenty of teams draft that way, and then obviously the execution isn't there. But for Thunder Predator, they know they've got the coordination, they've got the mechanical skill to make those exact combos work.
Game 2. I can only imagine what they're going to pull out. I don't think Lava need to change all too
No.
much, but at the same time, you don't want Thunder Predator to do it to you twice because, man, even Badger and Lobby Chat is literally like wild game. Yeah, because that's what it was. Because they really just kind of played insanely. I'm so excited for game 2.
Yeah, we are going to be getting into that second game in just a couple of minutes here. So We will be stepping away. When we come back, though, we'll see. Is it Thunder Predator getting the 2-0 sweep, or can Lava push us to that full 3-game series? We'll be finding out in just about 5 to 10 minutes. So stick around. We'll be right back for the start of the Game 2 draft.